Yo, I won. Family tree, welcome to Movement Decoded. Today we're going to go through a little bit of a sequence that I threw on at the end of an actual class that I ran today actually. Incorporating, transitioning from standing to lying, things that I have touched on in some previous videos, and some soft acrobatics and just weaving them into flow, really. Obviously the class, for those that come to my classes as well, this can be just serve as a recap for what we've gone over. Also, in the class, obviously this is such a small element and portion of it. We usually break down the sensitivity context in terms of building coordination, proprioception, then we let that develop into our conditioning context, our mobilizing context, which sort of molds the container for potential, for flow. For skill development. And here was kind of the pièce de résistance when it comes to piecing all of that together, all of those details. So, we're just going to get straight into it. Money spinner. Done this one in a previous video. I'm going to break it down. There's actually also there's a video detailing this skill in and of itself and breaking it down. So I'm just going to demonstrate it here. If you pick it up, sight reading, beautiful. If there's something that you're getting a bit confused in elements, go over to my other video where I'm actually describing this one element in much more detail. Money spinner. I'll just demonstrate first. Boom. That's the money spinner there. Away from transitioning from standing to lying, to seated, to lying. I'll give it a little bit of a recap. I'll cue through it swiftly. Sorry, I always got something that's like, I'm just worried in like post-edit, it's just something flipping. Oh yeah, the studio that I do all these videos in this room, got some merchandise. Progressive movement, the studio is waking dreams. Don't think it says it. It has some cool facts about hypnagogic jerks or something on the back. If you like the merch, drop us a message. I'll sort you out with a discount, innit? Anyways, get back to it. Money spinner, break it down nice and slow. Feet nice and wide. Obviously adaptable anchor. Hand comes in front of the opposite foot without rotating too much. The rotation will come as a result, but first, as we reach across and in front, let the hand turn in slightly to release down through the same shin as the planted hand. Then we sit backwards onto the hip, unthread the legs, making sure the feet stay on the floor, windshield wiper with the same momentum that you're taking through by virtue of the movement. One fetal roll, and the way that we're coming up, push through squat. I'll show variety in that as well, but for now, for clarity, hand in front of opposite foot, leading with the pinky finger wrapping around. It brings the same shin down, the hip, unthread, fetal roll, standing. The next element we played with was weight shifting from foot to hand, then hand to foot. So single leg balance can be a lunge shape, obviously wide leg. We just rotate it and boom. Weight shift. Weight shift from foot to hands to foot. What I really like about this one is let the weight of the head, like carry you into that weight shift. So as my head relaxes, it serves as a pendulum, which means I don't have to fight the kick up of the handstand, the weight of the head. Whoa. Whoa. And that weight shift, something that I explored with, what I learned from, and then explored with, from a good friend of mine, Lewis, Relax to Erupt, beautiful mover, check him out, was entering into the handstand, into the weight shift, sorry, not handstand, in the same way, and exiting in a variation. So it might be entering and exiting, same. But then, can I add slight variation? Okay, I let myself pivot slightly to the right that time. So as I go in, pivot slightly to the left. Maybe I'll pivot to the right, but just a little bit more, and explore the range there. Maybe weight shift, switch the feet. Maybe weight shift, move the hand. And allowing for like a spontaneous reorganization by bringing yourself off axis whilst weight shifting and seeing what shows up. It might be entering differently and seeing how that feels. So that's just something to explore. Weight shift. So the two things we have now: money spinner, use the momentum to weight shift. And what the context of the skill development we did in the class was Macaco. Now I'm not gonna go over that because I've done an extensive video that you can do on developing the Macaco. Head over to that. But the way, what's the word? It's not gunshot, slingshot, shotgun. There's something about shooting. Just a quick synopsis of the development was the Macaco kind of bit, the baby leap, which is from squat, hand comes down, hip hop and rotate. Opposite hand, hip hop, rotate, hip hop, rotate, hip, rotate. That was baby element of Macaco. Then target on the floor to try and do the same exact movement, but now we've got an external cue to try and clear. External cue, pop, to try to clear. Make it a bit more challenging. Keep your whole body and hand on this side, which helps us work for distance. God, my left shoulder's a bit funky at the moment. I've booked in for osteo. So being a bit tentative there. Because of you guys, I've been working on this shoulder way more because this is my dominant side. And yeah, it's feeling the brunt of it in a safe way, but I just need a bit of a calibration and an MOT. So I'm being soft on the left side, a bit more forgiving. After that cue, we see if we can take it a little bit higher. Yeah, we'll start from squat. Doesn't matter where the hand is. Now the intention is seeing if we can pop a little bit higher over the pivot point, the fulcrum of the shoulder. If that starts to show up, I'll stay off my left. Then can we reach the trailing hand down towards the ground? Again, just a quick overview of something that I really dive into in the Macaco clip. I'll put the link to that video in the description, like a 25-minute video on just that skill alone. Let's piece it all together. 3 elements. It's really juicy. The class picked up so well. There were many people who hadn't even ever tried a Macaco, had seen it before and been like, whoa, no, and then they ended up doing it beautifully. So, money spinner. As we come up, we finish. Weight shift. Step into Macaco. Yo, you need to. I'll cut it here because luckily, and I'll edit in after. Alright, sorry, my boss came in then, sorting out the heating and ventilation in the space. Studio's getting popular now because of classes. Now all the teachers are sick, and condensation's getting a bit mad. So we got up the ante with the smoke and mirrors and the bells and whistles in the space. Anyway, well, oh yeah, it's just kind of recapping the elements of the movement. Let me go over it again. I think whether I'm cutting it, it's like I'm doing it again, but yeah, we'll just go over it again. Same side. Money spinner. So we stand to weight shift. Here, I'm pretty much bringing my legs together for this variation to add the most optimal power for, that was my knees. To add the most optimal power for the macaco. And if you're intentional with the placement and you use momentum to reinforce choice, then maybe you go straight into another flow. Money spinner. Weight shift. Macaco. And to the other side. It's my stinky shoulder, that one. So baby sides, baby steps. Two details. Detail one, money spinner. You can treat it like the infinity rocks. I'm throwing out a lot of jargon here for those that if you're watching the video, because you're getting like a shit ton of free classes. So take advantage for it a bit. And the more I put out, the more I'm just gonna refer to different vocabulary. Hopefully you're kind of following the threads because it all pieces together so beautifully. But from the money spinner, on this roll here, you have a choice to either come straight up into squat or use an infinity rock. I really like doing this one because I'm lazy, and sitting up first is a bit of a nicer trajectory to come round. Oh no, my knees and hips just prefer that. So I tend to do this S curve on the way up rather than the O curve. Again, differentiation between it. Here, the roll, the O curve, straight up into squat. The S curve, shift across and come up. Just feels a little bit more forgiving. Oh, wow. I need to stop doing my left. Doesn't even hurt. I've definitely got like a neurological discrepancy right now. I need a massage, need an MOT, a bit of a click clack, and it's all gonna piece together. Luckily, I don't feel injured. I just feel a bit stuck in my body, if I'm being totally honest. It comes as a result of doing this, but detail two, you've got O curve or S curve. So detail one. Detail two, using Lewis's weight shift exploration. Doesn't have to be in and out. It can be round the bend. It can be switch. And it's all gonna bring you into a nice base to either step and turn it into money spinner or land and prep for macaco. I try and do it without whining about my shoulder here. So I'm going to do option S curve or into weight shift, switch, and it takes us straight into another flow. Oh, I skipped the weight shift on purpose. Intentional placement of where you put the three layers. Money spinner, weight shift, macaco. Chop and screw, either side, play the variation. Yeah, and that's what we did in class today, this morning. Vibey class in this space. So if you're watching this from London, hit us up, man. Because there's one thing doing this, there's one thing being in the effervescence of energy with everyone really in this co-created shared space. Beautiful community here at Waking Dreams. So, yeah, I think we'll leave it there. Not gonna mince the ending, just if you please buy your boy a coffee for the edits. If you like it, if you really like this thing, the link to that's gonna be at Macaco as well. And I'll see you when I see you guys. Love.